Greetings from Aaron Layman Properties. Let's check in on the North Texas housing market here again. Denton County home sales actually slid to an 11-year low in June. Closed sales continue to stagnate with mortgage rates still hovering near 7%. Home prices were near all-time highs. This confusing mix of housing unaffordability pushed more buyers to the sidelines. And this is a trend we're seeing basically all over the country, at least in many submarkets. Closings were 14% lower year over year in Denton County. Average home prices moved up 4.1% to $589,000 in June. Pending contracts, a more forward-looking indicator, slid 13% year over year. With sluggish sales, available home inventory perked up significantly. Months of supply in Denton County shot up 36% to 3.4 months of inventory. This boosted local supply was largely driven by a 45% increase in available resale existing home inventory. We now have 3.5 months of existing home inventory in this part of North Texas. The market for home sellers is still pretty solid. It hasn't been very kind to buyers. Inflation is still well above the Fed's target, and Uncle Sam is running a $1.9 trillion budget deficit to prop asset prices up and keep things going. Under this backdrop, there are still plenty of boomers and existing asset holders active in the Denton County real estate market. This has been helping to push up average prices while Denton County home sales stagnate in the middle and lower end of the market. More incentives from builders to move new homes. The builders are ramping up their incentives again as the market stagnates. When the going gets tough, builders get motivated. They are professional sellers. This is exactly what we were seeing in the labor market begins to soften. This is a similar dynamic to last year, but with a slightly different twist. Last year, it was more about a backlog of new construction working its way through the pipeline. This year, we have relatively stable new home inventory, but a softening economy and labor market. In absolute terms, new construction inventory is up 8.8% year over year. Denton County had a little over 1,000 new homes available for sale in June. Available listings of existing homes were up 40% with roughly 2,900 homes for sale. As resale inventory continues to grow, builders will likely be under more pressure to continue those generous incentives. Competition generally results in increased seller motivation. It's interesting to see how some builders are reacting to this shifting market. America's largest home builders are publicly traded corporations, so we can get an idea of what they are thinking and where they are allocating their resources and capital. Lennar Homes has been lowering the bar on prices in the Texas market. Their latest 10Q filing shows that average prices plummeted to $254,000 for the units delivered through the first 6 months of the year. What's wild is that Lennar is shelling out over $51,000 per home in sales incentives during this period. A look at one of the Lennar's communities in DFW provides a clue as to why the sales incentives are so large. It looks like Lennar is skimping on quality to get to those lower price points. Some people have even pointed out how the dressed-up renderings advertised on their website loosely resemble the actual finished product. A deeper dive into Lennar's financials shows how serious Lennar is when it comes to home building. Through the first half of the year, Lennar spent over $1.1 billion on share repurchases. You read that right. That's $1.1 billion spent padding shareholder wealth and executive compensation. Compare that with the $142 million Lennar shows for warranty payments, and you can get an idea of the home builder's priorities. It's rather sad to see home builders watering down the experience of home ownership just to get to lower prices. It's a difficult economy, so we can understand to a certain point. But profit margins show America's largest home builders can build better homes, including Lennar. That's why it's so disappointing to see them phoning it in the Texas market. Cracks in the labor market. The labor market has finally begun to cool this year. With inflation firmly entrenched and mortgage rates still bouncing between 6 and 7%, consumers seem to be cutting back. Employers are apparently taking notice and taking a more conservative stance as well. Full-time employment appears to be rolling over. The official unemployment rate perked up to 4.1% in June. The 4-week moving average from continued unemployment claims has seen a noticeable uptrend over the last few months as well. This is why the U.S. government is running a $1.9 trillion budget deficit. It's worth posing the question, what would happen if the U.S. was forced to actually balance the budget? Well, it wouldn't be good for overall liquidity, that's for sure. The current liquidity fire hose from Treasury is still dominating the Fed's effort to reduce its balance sheet for now, but the clock is ticking. It's also worth noting that the Fed is still sitting on a $2.3 trillion portfolio of mortgage-backed securities. This helps explain the current budget deficit trends. New transaction and representation forms coming for agents. The August 17 NAR settlement implementation date is just around the corner. Those offers of compensation to buyers, brokers, and representatives formerly required by the MLS are scheduled to disappear next month. Agents and consumers will need to get acquainted with these new forms in the coming weeks and months. The post-settlement landscape will be interesting when it comes to commissions and representation. There could be a very big shakeout in the industry coming forward. The Texas Association of Realtors has new forms to assist brokers with the transition. Form 2701, the Amendment to Representation Agreement, is a new temporary form to bring existing representation agreements into compliance with the August 17 transition. Buyers and sellers will see new fields in the updated representation agreements, like the exclusive right to sell and the residential buyer-tenant representation agreement. Form TXR 1501 will become the long form for the buyer-tenant representation agreement. There's also a new short form version called the residential buyer-tenant representation agreement, TXR 1507. This new short form is basically two forms in one. It will possibly be used for showings, or it can be used for showings only or a full range of services. There's also a new form titled Addendum Regarding Brokers' Fees, TXR 2406. This new form will be used for the Texas Real Estate Commission TREC contracts like the 1-to-4 family or the unimproved property or new home contracts. TAR posted a helpful discussion of these new forms and their appropriate use by agents. If you are in the market to sell a home, you may now have more leverage when it comes to commissions paid out to agents. If you're a buyer, your path to the closing table might be a bit more complicated, particularly for some of those first-time home buyers or VA buyers. Buyers will now have to decide how much help they need and put that commitment to pen and paper. Aaron Layman Properties will be here to help you whether you are buying or selling. Just give me a call for assistance with your next real estate transaction. That's it for now. Stay safe out there.